But now we welcome in the victorious Mackenzie Dern. What a performance from you tonight. First and foremost, how good does it feel to avenge that loss?
Yeah, it was amazing, especially with Moa there.
Yeah.
You know, it was like 5 years, my first fight after Moa was born. So to be able to be 5 years later and her there and watching me and to get the win with an armbar, you know, representing jiu-jitsu, you know, it's really great.
Love it. Now, you talked so much about wanting to have more composure in this fight. Take your time, be patient. Do you feel you were successful with that?
Yeah, I think I was successful for sure. It wasn't perfect, you know, lots of stuff to get better, you know, still kind of like coming up a little bit.
Yeah.
She's long, you know, one of my biggest things is like kind of fighting a taller girl like Marina, or even just girls that move a lot, you know. Thankfully for me, Amanda, she walks forward, you know, so for us that are grapplers, that's good because you don't have to find them so much. But she still had that distance, you know, so I still kind of overextend, my chin comes up a little bit, but I mean, I think even the champ still evolves, you know,
Yes.
so definitely don't feel like too bad. Yeah, I think I was able to at least stay calm, you know.
Nice.
And Mackenzie, you know, it was towards the end of the round when you were able to secure that arm bar, and you had that position for quite a while. How hard was it to not try to rush it, to stay patient? You landed a couple hammer fists, which really set it up, and then obviously cut the angle perfectly and got it. But did you know how close the end of the round was? Were you worried you weren't going to be able to scoop it up?
No, I knew. I heard the clapping. You know, I was like, man, with Lupita, the same thing. Almost I got the armbar, and then I wasn't getting that Ronda Rousey. Just like, you know, rip it off, you know. And I was kind of like, and we were kind of close to her dad, you know, and I could hear him just like kind of keeping her calm and everything like that. But I was like, man, I don't want to stand up again, you know, have to go through the whole process, you know. So I was like really gonna go at it, and yeah, I think the punches helped a little bit in just getting the angle. So I was really gonna give everything I could to not go through one whole round again and stand up and get it back to the floor.
And in the first round, you came out, you were very aggressive in the feet, you landed beautiful leg kicks, and you were able to use your boxing to get in close. And we know we've talked to you, and you've talked a lot about working the striking to be able to secure takedowns or at least get in close. And right off the bat, that first fight, you had a lot of trouble being able to get her down and keep her there. And right off the bat, you find yourself in top position. So was that something you guys drilled and worked a lot in this training camp?
Yeah, the leg kicks were really recent, like just in the back.
Really?
Yeah, this in the back. Coach is like, he does that with me though sometimes, you know. He'll like, he'll throw things into my mind just like right before we go into the fight, like just to remember kind of thing, or put it in my mind, and then all of a sudden I'm doing like elbows and something like that. We really don't train too much during training, you know, but it's just like the most recent thing in my mind. So he was like, yeah, we even got like my friend to put the shin guards on. He's like, let's just work some leg kicks, you know, and I think that will help you to get in, you know, and then I think it helped, you know. But
it worked.
Yeah. But definitely the boxing, it's the striking striking to get the takedown. You know, of course, I don't want to be like outstrike a striker, but the striking to get in and trying to stay behind my hands as I get in there, you know. So I was happy to get the top position. I think all those little things, they get into the opponent's head, you know, like, oh man, she got me down. Okay, well, imagine when we get more tired, you know, then that just kind of all goes through it. So yeah, I'm happy that it worked.
Well, I don't know if you want to take a look at the monitor right here. A lot of people have questions about like bringing their kids, involving their kids in their MMA career, right? And sometimes it can be a distraction to you, or sometimes it can be a motivator to you. Like what role does Moa play in your MMA career and in your life, I guess?
Yeah, no, she's the biggest motivation. Every time she hasn't been to my fight, I've lost, you know. So again, another superstition, but I don't want to fall into that. But yeah, every time she goes, I always win. So I'm happy about that. I try not to just spend too much time with her before the fight, even when I'm walking out. Like I was in the back and I could see her, and I was watching the other fights and I could already see her in the front row kind of thing. I'm like, oh, Moa's there. But as I'm walking out, you know, I'm like, don't make eye contact with Moa. Don't, you know.
You gotta stay focused.
Yeah,
right.
Try not to like let that mom, because it kind of melts
It
you a
does,
little bit.
yeah. The nurturing side versus the mama bear side.
Exactly,
right.
you know. So I'm like, man, don't make eye contact. You know, just focus on Amanda. You know. But after that, I'm like, where's Moa?
Yeah,
Come here,
100%.
you know, she's like, no. You know, but eventually she came in. So yeah, it's amazing to have her there, and hopefully she doesn't want to fight with she's. I want to just be the support. You know?
Well, a lot of people compared your guys' last fight to this fight, and I love how you're so good at evaluating yourself right in the moment. What do you think is the biggest? Like, what do you think is the difference between Mackenzie in the first fight and Mackenzie today?
Mackenzie in the first fight, I mean, I was kind of not literally blind, but I was just blind. It was like as if you get someone from the, I mean, I guess not because I have jiu-jitsu background, you know, so that like years of competition, you know, that competition and not getting nervous. Of course I have that, and I think I still have that to today, but I had that back then. But as a striker and just kind of knowing where you are in an octagon and that movement, I was completely blind, you know, like my coaches at the time, I was like very few months with them, you know, new camp. I didn't really know what I was doing, you know, I was just kind of like brawling out there, you know, and hoping that something lands.
Yeah,
you know,
fighting with your heart.
Yeah, fighting with the heart, you know, and now I'm seeing, you know, you can kind of see what she's doing, and I think I evolved like with that knowing. Kind of, I guess that's what strikers do, you know. They can set stuff up, you know. If it's about the ground jiu-jitsu, I can set stuff up all day, you know. But
you are a striker. You are an MMA fighter. You're a complete MMA fighter.
Yeah, now I feel like I really became an MMA fighter, and I grew into that, loving the sport as a whole.
Mm-hmm. So in between rounds, your coach Jason Parillo said, "You're learning on the job." Mm-hmm. Do you remember that? And do you remember what he was referring to?
Yeah, he says that to me a lot. He says that to me a lot. I think just because, like, for example, Amanda, when I fought her, she had more experience, more years in MMA, you know, and I think I went into the UFC like 5-0 and kind of no amateur fights, you know, so it's basically fighting with like Young, who fought for the title, Amanda Lemos, who fought for the title, Jessica, all these girls with like little MMA experience, you know what I mean? And especially at the UFC level, you know, and it's like I have that jiu-jitsu background and everything, but it's a completely different sport, and they spend their whole camps like not getting close and not, you know, defense, and that's basically just what he means is like I'm learning now and fighting, you know, not like lots of rounds and stuff like that. It's learning on the spot.
So this was a big fight for you, not only just a rematch, but obviously for title implications. And I'm not saying that's what you want, but I would like to know, what would you like your next fight to be?
I mean, if I could have a good matchup, you know, and now I'm not really concerned if it's someone behind me in the ring or in the front, but obviously I would like a good matchup, you know. I just want to get the consecutive wins, you know, and seeing like Tatiana, you know, who I know she's undefeated, but I don't know. I think like sometimes some fighters we can kind of like pick fights and stuff like that, and I haven't really been someone who picks fights. You know, just kind of been taking the challenges as they come.
Now's your chance.
Yeah, I know. But man, I'm thinking like, am I gonna be all the top 5? Basically, I fought already. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm gonna be like Dern 2. I'm gonna rack up all these rematches. You know, but yeah, I mean, someone in the top 5 would be good. But yeah, I think just getting consecutive wins is the most important to get closer to the title.
Nice. Well, it was a really great performance for you. We know you got a lot to get to. We're going to let you go. Before we do, though, want to let you know, Mackenzie, you and your countryman Cesar going home with a few extra hay-ice tonight because both of you picked up performance bonuses.
Yes.
Our fight of the night is going to Curtis versus Kopilov. But thank you so much for joining us, Mackenzie. Parabéns. Congratulations to you.